let's start with the partnership model. I mean, have you faced any challenges around the partnership model? What are some of the things that you've learned, I guess, over the 3 or so years?
Oh yeah, so I think, with all models, I mean, there's always challenges. So partnership model is no different. So since we have cross-functional resources working on people data, we quickly realized that, we had to do more to safeguard people data and maintain that trust, right? So that's critical to us. So we know at that point, we need to actually create some standards around how we handle, distribute, and analyze people data between the teams. So one of the key early priorities was to actually put together ethics charter with our guiding principles. And at this point, we actually transparently share the principles with our employees through our intranet site. We also actually link a lot of our communications to the ethics charter so people know exactly how we are actually handling, distributing, and analyzing the data. We also actually at the same time form a cross-functional governance team, which include HR, data science, IT, privacy, legal, communications, essentially all the representing functions to review all the studies that we undertake and make sure that we do the right thing by looking at all the angles possible. Actually, one of our guiding principles is really to protect the security of individuals by masking and aggregating data as soon as practical. So in order to do that, we actually mask and de-identify the data before sharing with the cross-functional partners so that we continue to maintain that trust. I'm actually really grateful to have Dirk Peterson, who helped us accelerate the ethics charter work when we started the people analytics journey. That is actually definitely a critical part of our operating model now. Another challenge I would say is to make sure that we have alignment between our partners on the key focus areas. This does require us to start the planning process early, right? But I think, one of the key things out of this is this does provide us with the time and space to think strategically about the priorities we want to tackle as a team. So we even have a 5-year AI roadmap right now that spans across all stages of employee lives.
Yeah, and I think it's great. I've often asked about the importance of having good governance around people analytics, and I say that it's really important and it's worth investing the time to do it because you set yourself up for success. And certainly, I think the example that you shared around the ethics charter, I think is really important. And I know, obviously, Dirk, as you said, worked with you in the early stages of that. But you've got a particularly good relationship, good partnership with your privacy team, I think. I don't know if there's any sort of 2 or 3 best good practices that you could share with other listeners.
Oh yeah, so definitely. So I think the core to collaboration and partnership is really to bring people in early. So a lot of times, when you bring actually privacy and legal and even other teams in early, then I think you create a sense of community where you actually try to co-create something. A lot of times when you bring people in a little bit later, then what they are trying to do is actually mitigate certain risks that's around the projects you want to do. So that is where I think is important to bring in your partner early on so that you can actually start that co-creating process. That's why we see that the governance team being so effective because we have cross-functional representation. So when we actually talk to a project, we potentially might be able to actually look at it from a different angle. And then once we actually have that, we can then drive forward the project with full alignment from everyone, including privacy and employment.
Right. As I said, anyone listening to that who's looking at setting people analytics up within your organization or maybe re-evaluating your approach to working with your privacy team, I think there's some good words from Jimmy there.
In this series, we will be speaking to a range of senior leaders who are pushing a data-driven and digital HR agenda. Make sure that you subscribe via your podcast app of choice and also via our YouTube channel for free and regular interviews with the digital HR leaders of the future.